Rudra, please go.
Very good morning to one and all. This is Rudra Narayan Das, Executive Director, Center for Adivasi Research and Development. Extend my warm greetings to all, to the distinguished guests and audience across the globe who have presented in this virtual birth anniversary celebration of Vishwa Vijayi Swami Vivekananda ji. And also we celebrate the Indian National Youth Day. The title of this symposia is Need of the Hour, because the theme of this program is Swami Vivekananda and youth development. In order to celebrate the intellectualism of Swamiji, we are honoring. Please please unmute or please mute all.
Please stay.
Honoring the vision and work of Swamiji, who strived throughout his life towards building a better society and inspired youth with his social service. Every year, his birth anniversary in 12th January is celebrated as the National Youth Day of this country. And today, in today's Center for Adivasi Research and Development is inviting one of the very pioneering and spiritual personality of India, is Swami Kamalasthananda ji, Principal Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Centenary College. He's a member of different working committee and governing bodies, and delivered talk in different institutions of India. And Swamiji chaired many sessions as a president. Swamiji's article on Swami Vivekananda's unique concept of ecology in national integration, edited by Professor Purjit Palitz, and Swami Vivekananda and national integration and youth and Swami Vivekananda in 2015, Swami Vivekananda and his universal ideas in 2017, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and Ecology, a study edited by Swamiji, and Swamiji did UGC sponsored minor research project on a study of cardiovascular fluid mechanics and its mathematical model to combat the cardiac arrest. And another project is Chicago Address of Swami Vivekananda ji and its impact on Indian society and nationalism, a national seminar project sanctioned by ICSSR in 2018. And another project is Planetary Crisis and Human Liberation, a national seminar project by ICSSR in 2019. And Swamiji got Sri Aurobindo Award in 2018, Lifetime Education Achievement Award in 2019, and Certificate of Excellence in Indian Institute of Global Brotherhood in 2019, Best Educationist Award by International Institute of Education and Management, New Delhi in 2009. So now, without taking much time, I would like to invite Swami Kamalasthananda ji to initiate his talk on Swami Vivekananda and youth development. Over to Swamiji. Swamiji, please unmute yourself.
Now I'm audible, no?
Yes, sir. Sir, please, camera.
Okay,
on your camera.
Just.
Yes, sir, please.
Now I am visible, no?
Yes, sir.
So very good afternoon, good evening, morning to everybody present in this virtual platform, and also the many thanks to the members and the director of Center of Adivasi Research and Development, Odisha, for inviting me in this very auspicious occasion, National Youth Day Celebration 2022. So on the very outset, I express my voice is audible, no?
Yes, sir, please.
Any problem? Any problem? No.
No, sir.
So on the very outset, I express my heartiest welcome to everybody, and also all the members of this CARD of Odisha, and also all the participant and the viewer in different online platform. So nowadays we are all the participant of online, especially because due to pandemic last 2 years. So I welcome all in this online platform on the very outset of this program. So today's National Youth Day celebration, I just make this program to effective all, because online platform, if I speak, then it is not so good. So I present something. So I want to share my screen. My screen is
yes, sir, please.
Visible, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this National Youth Day celebration, you all have know that 1984 India government decided that from 1985 onwards, this day, 12th January, the birthday of Swami Vivekananda will be observed all over India as National Youth Day. And from 1985 onwards, it has been observed all over India with all enthusiasm and all great fervor. And this year also, every nooks and corners of the India, also students, young staff, younger generation of India, they are all participating in different programs through different institutions. And in this program, I agreed with this director, the Jana Babu. He last yesterday he just contact me, and I have today so many programs. In spite of all this, I agreed due to only on cause this National Youth Day, this Swami Vivekananda birthday celebration. So in this Swami Vivekananda is so passionate to every Indian. So if I can share something, if I can think something regarding Swami Vivekananda, it is also my great privilege. So thinking, I accepted this proposal, and I just set up this this program, Swami Vivekananda and Youth Development, because the youth, we know that every nation, they are great respect about the youth and their youth development. And in this respect, Swami Vivekananda also very much relevant, and day by day it will be relevant, not only India but also to the world. I just want to give an idea before all of you that day by day the concept of Swami Vivekananda and his youth, idea of youth, regeneration of youth, development of youth of all over India, not of all over world, not only India, all over world, it will be more important when the coming years will come in future, that everybody can witness. So this I want to put forth all the youth present in this platform. It is our solace, it is our great hope that what Swami Vivekananda has given us more than 100 years ago. So I just first place before you the human development. What is the human development? The human development is by birth, a human being is not man by birth. By birth, all are animal, just like other animal, all are animal. So human development from animalhood to manhood, and then it is the godhood or divine being. So this is the journey of transformation of the animal man to the real the manhood. Then the higher plane, that is the godhood. So now in my next slide, I want to express that what is the animal characteristics and what is the man characteristics. So animal characteristics I express before you, just like other animals, human beings also, this multicellularity, it is just a biological term. And eukaryotic cell, two types of prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Human beings are prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell. Then specialized tissue. Just human beings, just like other animal, he or she has specialized tissue. Then another thing that is called this reproduction, that's produce same copy, and that motility, that ability to move, and then heterotrophy, that human beings, just like another animal, he can this animal can take anything. Human beings also take plant, animal, whatever for his livelihood, but human being could not produce food. Human beings have to depend other for food. Then advanced nervous system, and this is called the innate nature of the animal. And human beings also by animal, he or she has produced this type of basic characteristics. Now I put forth that if by birth human beings are all this animal characteristics, so how can we go to this higher plane, that is manhood? So by birth, man is not man. By birth, my man is animal. So through great practice, through some great qualities, so we have to go forward from animalhood to manhood. So the first characteristics of the man is this some jomo. This jomo means some internal restriction required. If anyone claims in the world that I am human beings, then he or she has to control his some restriction. He has to impose some restriction, inner restriction. What is this inner restriction? This is called ahimsa, sattva, astya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. This is Sanskrit term. What is I just mentioned before you? Ahimsa means non-injury, harmlessness. It is the inner controlness. Second thing is the sattva, that is truth, based upon truth. In animal, there is no concept of truth and truth, but human beings should be controlled himself or herself, that he or she should based upon satya. Then asteya. Asteya means abstention from stealing of something from other. It is called asteya. And fourth thing, this brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means continuance dwellings upon Brahma, or in nutshell, I can say the concept of purity. Only human being, only manhood can understand pure and impure. Animal could not know, could not have any idea what is pure and what is impure. But this actually human being has this quality. This is called called brahmacharya. Then second, the last one, it is called that aparigraha, non-possession, abstention from covetousness. that is aparigraha. He is very much sufficient in his own demand. He could not want more from others. So these are the qualities of any human being in this earth, whatever place, position, whatever his state, whatever his country, whatever his globe. But if he or she claims a human being, he claims manhood, then he or she has to be possessed this type of 5 inner restriction. Then comes another thing called, this is called that Saucha Swantosa Tapa Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Niyamaha. Then another outer restrictions required for manhood. This first one is called Saucha, this cleanliness, outer cleanliness required. And animal would not know that what is clean. If you wash your cow or elephant, then immediately he actually loiter in the dust. This animal could not understand this cleanliness and unclean position. So then Santosa, contentment. Every time should be content. Then tapas, austerity. Austerity means penance. So this man's whole life should be based upon austerity, penance. Then Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means man every time devote something, some good things, not mundane, some good things devote this time. And last one, this Ishvara Pranidhanani, the belief of some supreme reality, whatever its form, whatever it may be, but believe something supreme reality and thinking of this supreme reality in whatever name and whatever form. But these things are called external niyams, this external thing. These 5 things also required. So along with the 5 jamos, these 5 niyamos are required for any human being if he or she claims man. So in this earth, if anybody claims that I am man, then this manhood means depends upon these 5 niyama and 5 jamos. So why I am telling this? Because these things are mentioned. These are not irrespective of any country, any state, any part of this globe. These are called Sarva Bhuma Mahabhratam. If man, if anybody claims that I am a man, then he or she has to take this Mahabhratam, these vows, because otherwise he or she is animal, by birth is animal. So transgress this animalhood to this manhood, these 5 jamos and 5 niyamas are required. So now I am again come to the definition of youth, what mentioned the different international bodies in this world. First, UN Secretary and UNESCO defined the youth 15 to 24 age group. UNICEF, who they have mentioned adolescent 10 to 19, young people 10 to 24, youth 15 to 24. And this UNICEF, the Convention on the Right of the Children, this group, they are considered child up to 18. So 18 plus the youth actually consider. The African Youth Charter, they consider youth 15 to 35. So whatever may be the notion, that it is clear that all over world after 18, after 18 to up to 25 or 30, this age group actually consider the youth. Now the Franklin Roosevelt, 32nd President of United States, he remarked a good thing about youth. We cannot always build the future of our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. Very, very important statement. We can build our youth for the future. So in this respect, I place before you a a joint effort made by International Youth Foundation, IYF, and Center for Strategic and International Studies, with principal financial support from Hilton Worldwide Gifts and Index system called Global Youth Wellbeing Index, GYWI, where 30 countries has participated, where India also the one country. Here I want to place you before you that one thing that so many parameters are mentioned, here, that is citizen participation, economic opportunity, education, health, ICT, safety and security. This actually the 6 parameters they have identified, and in this parameter they have actually take the 30 countries population, their opinion, and based upon this they have made the ranking. And in this ranking, the citizen participation, India actually scored 3rd rank. Other actually India has a lower rank, but citizen participation, India scored the 3rd rank. It is very remarkable. Now it was studied in the world that motivation of youth in the world. What is the motivation? What is the motivation behind the youth? It was studied that commune. Youth all over the world, they want to commune with them, the need for connection and relationship. Second thing, they want justice, the need for social and personal justice. All over the world, the youth wants. Third, authenticity, need for right thing. Youth always wants the need and then for right thing. They do not want the wrong thing. They would not be cheated. They always want the right thing. So 90% youth agree in this commune aspect. Every youth all over they want to commune, want to connect, want to make relationship with each other. They do not separate each other. Now the motivation of the youth in the world, actually what I mentioned before, there are one question put before the all: how would you most like to be remembered? Here 8 questions have been put forth them. These questions are like this: as a person who was loved by many people. Second, as a person who looked after their friends and family. Third, as a person who changed the world in a positive way. Fourth, as a person who made everyone laugh. Fifth, as a very generous person. Sixth, as a very influential person. Seventh, as a very powerful person. Eighth, as a very beautiful or attractive person. But amazingly, this more than 28% population all over the world, especially the youth, they actually gives this vote that as a person who was loved by many people. So youth all over the world, they are mostly this agreed that as a person who was loved by many people, they are so the people, this youth want to live in this world because they are want to loved by many people. Second, the social media study of the youth, because social media engrossed in the youth population. They like very much through social media. They want to commune each other through social media, express their feelings through social media. So social media study, it was found that the youth in social media prefer 5 fundamental qualities of human being. This was studied through social media, that what are the fundamental qualities actually youth prefer. These 5 they prefer. First one, that the person in the social media which they want to interact, this person should be humble. This person should be mature. Third, the person should be genuine. And fourth, the person should be in behavior should be truthful. And lastly, this person should be sociable. So these 5 characteristics. So this first they very much interested about these 5 fundamental qualities of this. So here, very amazingly, the more than 45% population all over the world, they're mainly the youth, they agreed that they want the person with whom they want to make a relation through social media. The person should be truthful, not other than, not be social or something, but very much the person should be truthful. So this is the truth character the youth very much actually recognized. Globally, 6.3% youth are interested to become famous in life, whereas most of the youth want to be healthy in life. Other want different things. But India, the figure is something different. Here, about 18% of the total youth wants to be famous compared to the values of 6% of all over the world. So, especially in India, the youth more than 3 times compared to other, they want to be famous in the life. So here actually this study that all over world that actually youth want to be healthy. This is the study. Now the latest census 2011 data shows that around 41% of India is below the age of 20 years, with 356 million 10 to 24 years old. India has the world's largest youth population, despite having a smaller population than China. It is the UN report. So everybody knows that India's youth population is maximum in all over the world. So here, in this respect, Swami Vivekananda is very, very important, because this Swami Vivekananda as youth icon, in this backdrop, what I placed before, the present youth scenario, their thinking, their motivation, their liking, and their all type of their feelings. I just in a nutshell placed before you. In this respect, Swami Vivekananda's idea about youth is so important, because it actually not only helps Indian youth, but it also helps the all over world, the youth motivation, that how the youth can motivate themselves for the better future. And in this respect, Rabindranath Tagore told about Swamiji that Vivekananda's gospel marked the awakening of in man in his fullness, and that is why it inspired our youth to the diverse courses of liberation through work and sacrifice. So now I placed before the Swami Vivekananda as a youth icon. What are the qualities of youth according to Swami Vivekananda? So Swami Vivekananda chalked out mainly the 6 qualities of the youth more than 100 years ago. And now I placed before you just few slides before that nowadays youth also more or less they are thinking about this idea. So what Swamiji thought about youth more than 100 years ago, now also present youth all over the world, they are also hankering, they are also searching, they are also frantically moving for getting these ideas, getting these values. So Swamiji, this thinking about youth is I think I can tell that is a perennial idea. It is not that time-bound idea. It will has no horizon. It do not depend upon time, space, and causation. So anytime, every time, his idea will be applicable in any place, not only India but also all over the world. So Swamiji told in his lecture that am I only for Indian? I am equally for England. I am equally for American. So this type of words he uttered more than 100 years before. I do not know how many people can understand this type of words, because this such a great man, only born, I think after thousands and thousands years, one type of man born in earth, that his feelings for humanity, his feelings for a whole man on this earth is just like a exemplary to everyone. So now the quest for knowledge. We know, I just tell that all the youth, they have studied a little bit Swami Vivekananda's this plain life, as you are going in from childhood to your adolescence and also youth. Swami Vivekananda also grown up like this. So if you read that, you can understand his feelings here, his ideas and his thinking. So when he was studied in the General Assembly institution for his graduation degree, at that time there William Hastie, a great philosopher, he was the German philosopher. He was also the principal of this General Assembly. Now it is
Swamiji, you are muted. Please unmute.
yeah. Now it is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
My screen is viewable to everybody.
No, no. PPT is
Okay.
not.
Okay. Some problem. How does I can locate?
Ji. Yes, now it's visible.
Now.
Yes.
So what I told that William Hastie, he was the principal of this General Assembly institution. He's famous. He has taught this philosophy not only India but different country in this world. But he remarked about the pre-monastic names Narendranath Datta. At that time, he was a student, Narendranath Datta, just like youth. He was doing his graduation in this General Assembly. This William Hastie remarked that Narendra is such a remarkable student. So this quest of knowledge from very his youth, his the innate characteristics, and due to his quest of knowledge, he again from this the general again from William Hastie, Narendra Datta heard that one idea. So one class, this Hastie remarked that the William Wordsworth in his poet mentioned some trance, that human being from this normal plane, he or she can surpass to this normal plane, he or she can go to the other plane. This is called trance. But people could not understand what is trance, what is, then immediately some students asked, sir, what is this? And Narendra Datta also in this group. Then the Hastie remarked that it is very noble. I cannot tell that anybody and everybody can experience this trance, but I heard that one priest in Dakshineshwar Kali temple, he used to have a trance now and then. I heard that. From that, Narendranath Datta get a message that there one person in the Dakshineshwar Kali temple as working as a priest, he experienced the trance. So immediately verified for this, he met this person, his name is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and very first meeting with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Vivekananda, without any introduction, he asked the first question, have you seen God? This first question. Then Sri Ramakrishna, as a great teacher of all teachers, he immediately answered straightly that yes, I have seen the God. Not only I have seen, I can show you. And I have seen so prominently what I am seeing you just now. So this type of answer, such a bold answer, Swami Vivekananda never heard in his whole life. So this type of question and this type of interaction makes Swami Vivekananda a new horizon from Narendranath Datta to Swami Vivekananda. This type of transformation takes place for his quest of knowledge. So afterwards, Swami Vivekananda actually told that, but if that man increases his knowledge, his happiness will increase. The intellect will open to him and his sense enjoyment will evolve into intellectual enjoyment. What I told before, the transformation from animalhood to manhood is nothing but the transformation of sense enjoyment to the higher enjoyment, that is intellectual enjoyment, and after that, higher type of enjoyment. This is the journey of or evolution of man from animalhood to manhood, and then manhood to godhood. So afterwards, Swamiji told that knowledge is power. So for this power purpose, this utterance of Swamiji is so relevant because whole life he was actually for the quest for knowledge. So he can tell that knowledge is power. Now the quest for truth. So he actually told afterwards that, so you can see here the first preparation is that man must desire nothing else but truth for truth's sake. So man's journey from lower truth to higher truth. So everybody tells that you are false and you are everything, but Swamiji's idea that man never dwells upon false thing. Man maybe dwells upon lower truth, but here he or she has to surpass this lower truth and go to the higher truth. So lower truth to the higher truth, this is the quest for truth. And so for this purpose, Swamiji told that anything can be given up for the sake of truth, but truth cannot be given up for sake of anything. So because whole life he is actually running after for truth and truth only. So now the quest for service, another. So this Swamiji told that national ideals of India was renunciation and service. Intensify in those channels and the rest will be taken care of. The doing good to others out of compassion is good, but seva, or that is service of all beings in the spirit of Lord is better. So Swamiji put forth that what is this means the service. It is not that doing good to others out of compassion. It is something higher thing, that is service means that doing something in a spirit of Lord, that is I am doing something to anybody, not thinking that the human being, but thinking that he is not embodiment of Lord Shiva. So this type of new concept, and he not only tell, he whole life, through his whole life he has preached that this Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva, that is service to man is service to God. He's not only telling whole life is nothing but this message, service to man is service to God. It is not only the new slogan of India, but a slogan to the whole world, that service to man is service to God. Then quest for strength. Swamiji very much emphasized this truth, this strength. Strength means mental, physical, and spiritual. These three things, three type of strength required for development of human beings. If anything weaken anybody spiritually, mentally, and physically, he told that immediately shun this idea, because it will ruin the person like anything. So yes, the older I grow, the more everything seems to me lie in manliness. This is my new gospel. Do even evil like a man, be wicked, if you must, on a grand scale. The world is ready to give up its secret if we only know how to knock, how to give it the necessary blow. The strength and force of the blow come through concentration. This is no limit. There is no limit of the power of human mind. So for this purpose, he told that weakness is seen. Another thing, good idea, that is education is very important. Quest for education. So what the education Swamiji want to mean? He actually explained here. Through education comes faith in one's own self. Through faith in one's own self, inherent Brahman is waking up in them. Education makes man free from all sorts of superstitions and hypnotic ideas. It is the general medicine for all forms of social maladies or ailments. True educated man not only solves his own social needs and demands, but also helps others to solve their own problem. So these actually tell that how education can really help man for his own whole development, and it is helpful for a good citizenship, for a development of a nation. Now now you think that what is the education Swamiji want to mean? Swamiji, according to Swamiji, the education, the character is formed, strength of mind is increased, intellect is expanded, by which one can stand on one's own feet. So education, Swamiji do not want to mean the informative education, what we are day to day doing in our all systems, standard system. We are this information we are gathering. But this type of education, Swamiji do not want to mean. Swamiji's education is the character formation, this life building, character formation, and assimilation of idea. It is the education what Swamiji want to mean. For this, Swamiji told that character is formed, strength of mind is increased, intellect is expanded, and not only that, by which one can stand on one's own feet. So this four characteristics: character formation, mind, strength of mind increase, and also the intellect, expansion of intellect, and man's actually whole development. He can take his own responsibility. Eventuality, he takes a whole responsibility in his or her shoulder. So this type now the quest for actually the nationalism. Quest for nationalism, it is a very important idea of Swami Vivekananda, because Swamiji's whole life actually he thought about the development of India and the Indian peoples. So if just I read out the passage what Swamiji told and for the youth of India, and it if you can read this passage, you can understand how the such going of others, with the base imitation of others, with the dependence of others, this slavish weakness, this vile, distable cruelty, wouldest thou with this provision only scale the highest pinnacle of civilization and greatness? Wouldst thou attain by means of thy disgraceful cowardice that freedom and the heroic? O India, forget not that the ideal of thy womanhood is Sita, Savitri, Damayanti. Forget not that God thou worshipest is the greatest ascetic of ascetics, the all-renouncing Shankara, the Lord of Uma. Forget not that thy marriage, thy wealth, thy life are not sense pleasure, are not for thy individual personal happiness. Forget not that thou art born as a sacrifice to the mother's altar. Forget not that thy social order is but the reflex of the infinite universal motherhood. Forget not that the lower classes, the ignorant, the poor, the illiterate, the cobbler, the sweeper are thy flesh and blood, thy brothers. Thou brave one, be bold, take courage, be proud, and thou art an Indian, and proudly proclaim, I am an Indian, every Indian is my brother. Say, the ignorant Indian, the poor and destitute Indian, the Brahmin Indians, the Pariah Indians is my brother. Thou, too clad with but a rag around thy loins, proudly proclaims at the top of thy voice, the Indian is my brother, the Indian is my life, India's gods and goddesses are my God, India's society is the cradle of my infancy, the pleasure garden of my youth, the sacred heaven, the Varanasi of my old age. Say, brother, the soil of India is my highest heaven, the good of India is my good, and repeat and pray day and night, O thou Lord, O Gauri, O thou mother of the universe, vouchsafe manliness unto me, O thou mother of the strength, take away my weakness, take away my unmanliness, and make me a man. So these are the utterance of Swami Vivekananda. Just like one sentence, he has uttered all these feelings and marched his idea about India and Indian people, what youth actually can think and can do for India. So this type of nationalism he wants. So for this quest for nationalism, he for solving India's problem, for upliftment of India and Indian peoples, he ultimately he went to the Kanyakumari, the last point of Indian land. It is a hillock in the great ocean, and there he 3 days and night he meditated to think about India and her regeneration, her development. 3 days and 3 nights he meditated there. And now actually there a great memorial rock, this called Swami Vivekananda Memorial Rock, and inside this I give you the photograph. There inside Swami Vivekananda's statue is there, a good hall is there, and everybody can visit, you can see this. So it is now I sum up the actually thing, the Swami Vivekananda's youth development. First, actually quest for knowledge. Second, quest for truth. Third, actually quest for service. Fourth, actually quest for strength. Fifth, actually quest for education. And lastly, the quest for nationalism. Is this quest for knowledge, quest for truth, quest for service, quest for strength, quest for education, quest for nationalism? If 6 things combines each other into any youth, then real development comes. If anything lack, according to Swami Vivekananda, the development comes, but not according to what Swami Vivekananda wants. So any youth want to develop, then he or she has to combine these 6 qualities in his personalities, personal trait, so that a real youth can produce India, and not only India, but also the whole world, so that he or she can do something for humanity. And in Indian perspective, any one youth can do something for India. And what Swami Vivekananda want, that youth should be like this. Youth should be formed in such a way that he or she should be an effective instrument in future, and also the solace of the humanity, also the a partner of the civilization. So with this few words, today I am very much glad to present in this online platform, because but I do not see who are actually present, because it is difficult online platform. It is only one direction I am talking, and others also listening in one direction. This is actually the scenario. So, but I can very much feel the youth vibration, youth mind, and youth aspiration, because whatever youth in what position they are staying, everybody has great feelings about Swami Vivekananda, and for this purpose they are actually joined in this online platform and will present here. And also I request, also tell the youth repeatedly, please read firsthand the Swamiji's actually works. If you just read in English the Eastern Western, the life of Swami Vivekananda by Eastern Western, you can get the solid idea. Solid means there all things are very first-hand idea. Then you read, if you want to learn about India, then you read the Colombo to Almora, Swamiji's Colombo to Almora. If you can read this Colombo to Almora, you can think that what Swamiji wants about India's development. And then if you want to know what the Swamiji's feelings, you can read the letter of Swami Vivekananda. You can, after reading this letter, you can understand his feelings. And if you know that his intimate, intimate thoughts and idea about man and his development, about India, then actually it is Bengali, it is Swami Shishya Sambad, written by Sarath Chandra Chakraborty, his disciple. Its English rendering also is there, and it also translated in different language, Uriya and other languages also. You can collect this. It is actually faster, because Swamiji talked with his disciple Sarath Chandra Chakraborty freely and express all this idea. You can immediately understand Swamiji's deep thinking about India, people, and development of man, and other so many aspects. So you just, it is the time for all youth to learn this, and firsthand you can take the idea of Swami Vivekananda, not from other source. Directly you can get, because Swamiji told in one position, if anybody, especially later, Swamiji told that if anybody read my letter, my thoughts and idea will be entering into him or her. If anybody read minutely his letter, I can tell not only letter, his whole works, if anybody minutely read, his thoughts and idea automatically enter into him or her. So with these few words, I express my heartiest regards to every youth, those are participants in this online platform in this beautiful evening, and also the organizer of CRD of Odisha for organizing this online meeting to observe the National Youth Day 2020. So thanks all of you, thanking you in this in this beautiful morning to witness this National Youth Day celebration.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for enlightening us about the ideas of Swami Vivekananda. Now, I would like to invite Bholanath Naik is raising hand. Maybe you want to ask something. Bholanath Naik, please. Who want to ask something to Swamiji? Or any other participants want to ask something about the idea? Shan, please. Shan. Shan Kasturji, please. Shan, your voice is not quite audible to us. Very slow, Shan. Please see the volume of your device. Dr. Zena?
Please go for formal vote of thanks. Swamiji, other assignment in 12 noon, right?
Okay, you should close. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So thank you so much, Swamiji, for your time and enlightening us to this glorious and auspicious occasion of India's Youth Day. And as we all youths of India celebrated the National Youth Day with the idea of Swamiji's and how Swamiji want to transform the society with youth ideas, and definitely he want to make a renaissance in the Indian society and provide. He's writing so many books to transform the Indian society in a speculative. In a different kind of sharing different kind of ideas. So thank you so much, Swami, that you were trying to present the ideas of Swami Vivekananda in a very wonderful way. We are very much enlightened with your deliverance. Thank you, and thank you the present participants over here for the patient hearing to Swamiji. Because of time duration, Swamiji is busy with another assignment, so we cannot make this question answer session possible. Thank you all participants who are with us. Thank you, and thank you, Swamiji, for your time. Thank you.
So thanking all of you. So very for your all patient sharing. Thanks also Jana Babu also. Thank you.